I'm meteorologist Brittany. We are breaking into programming right now as we have a tornado warning that is impacting parts of northeastern Berks County. Here you can see the red polygon. This tornado warning also now extending its way into parts of northwestern Lehigh County. This is radar indicated, and this was just issued by the National Weather Service moments ago. And this tornado warning is until 2:45 this afternoon, and we are watching this cell as it works its way to the north and east. Again, we are looking into northeastern Berks County and also into Lehigh County. So what you need to do is seek shelter right now. This is a dangerous situation. We want to make sure that everybody is in their safe spot. Where you can go, the basement is the best place that you can be when you're in a tornado warning. If you don't have a basement to go into, of course, a closet or an interior hallway is the best place that you can be. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is avoid windows, avoid glass, and you want to stay in that location for as long as that tornado warning is in place, and make sure you're just somewhere sturdy protecting yourself. So again, a tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service, including portions of Berks County and also Lehigh County. And what we're looking at right now is our storm relative velocity, which gives us an idea of the rotation that's in the atmosphere right now. And right in this area, we have a little bit of what we call a couplet, where we see that bright banding of the winds going toward and away from the radar beams. So you're looking just to the north of Greenwich Township, basically between Greenwich Township and Lynn Township in Lehigh County. We can put a tracker on this. It looks like, because we're only populating a couple of different communities, this is probably more of a rural area. So time now right now is 2:19 in the afternoon. That'll be moving into the area of Linville within the next couple of minutes. Obviously, you can see on radar there's a lot going on here across the Lehigh Valley with severe thunderstorms, in addition to that tornado warning that we're tracking here into the northeastern portion of the county. So here you can see the outline of Berks County crossing over into northwestern Lehigh County. I mentioned Lynn Township. You are in the path of this tornado warning. You want to make sure that you are in your basement or your safe location. This threat is north and east of Hamburg. So we're getting a few more communities populating here. Weissenberg in Lehigh County, Lynn Township, also areas such as Greenwich Township, Albany Township, and then this tornado warning also bordering the Slateville Township area here. So again, we are going to be staying on the air with this tornado warning until 2:45 this afternoon. A tremendous amount of lightning that we're looking at with this thunderstorm that's moving its way through the Lehigh Valley here. Looking at the lightning strikes within the last 15 minutes, a few dozen of them associated with this particular cell. So you're not just dealing with the tornado threat, you're also dealing with the lightning threat out there as well. So you can see the tornado warning in red. The areas around it, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. You want to be inside too, but where the situation is most dangerous at this moment is within this tornado warning, that cell that's moving out of Berks County and into parts of Lehigh County until 2:45 this afternoon. The hail size potentially up to 1 inch in diameter. So we're looking up to quarter-size hail with this cell here as it moves its way into Lehigh County. And we can look at a couple of different products that show us what exactly is happening right now. You have the tornado threat, but these storms also have had a history of producing hail. We were just breaking into coverage not too long ago talking about the history that these storms had in Lebanon County as they've been moving their way east. Right now you can see some of the hail tracks with this severe thunderstorm up to about 1 inch in diameter. So up to quarter-size hail with this storm that's moving its way through parts of Berks County right now. So we're watching this severe thunderstorm, again, that's capable of producing a tornado. The National Weather Service issuing that tornado warning a short time ago. My producer and meteorologist Paul Trembello, he's running the graphics behind the scenes. Is there any update from the National Weather Service, Paul?
We're saying it's over Wanamaker's right now.
Over Wanamaker's. Now, is that in Berks County or?
That is in, it's not said here.
Okay. bear with us. We're trying to get some information from the National Weather Service. Right now, they're talking about the Wanamaker's area, so we're trying to see where exactly that is right now, just so we can maybe read off a couple of communities here, kind of going hyper-local at the moment. Looking at the area of Albany Township here, you have Slateville to the north, Mengle to the south, we have Greenwich Township here, and I would think somewhere in between, Paul, maybe Mengle and Albany. Maybe we're looking at that area there, Hawk Mountain Road, also Stony Run Valley Road, Route Old 22, also within the path of this storm that is capable of producing a tornado. Right now, we are looking at the border of Berks County into Lehigh County here. So we can put another tracker on to get a couple of different communities to populate. The time right now is 2:23, and if I read off your community, you want to make sure that you are in your safe location. The timestamp is when this will be moving into your area. So we had Stony Run, I believe, at around 2:33, Linville around 2:46, and the community of Schweitzer at 2:51 this afternoon. This cell is moving its way to the north and east. So again, just to reiterate where we're looking at, this is the border right here, Berks County, Lehigh County. This is moving into Lehigh County, and that is why we're on the air right now, because this storm is capable of producing a tornado. This gives you an idea that this is not the only cell that we're tracking right now. We have multiple clusters of severe thunderstorms moving through northern Berks County, moving through the Lehigh Valley. You have Schuylkill County right in here too, so there is a lot of lightning right now. And then also that cell within it that is capable of producing that tornado. So the tornado warning continuing until 2:45 this afternoon. And we'll look back at the storm relative velocity to see if we can get an idea of any rotation that's out there right now. We'll work our way back to that. And it doesn't look like we're seeing a couplet as strong as what we once were when this was a little bit closer to the line. You can see the last couple of frames here, although we can see a little bit of that bright banding toward the Lynn Township area. I'm not seeing a strong indication of rotation at this moment, but we're going to continue to watch this, and we're going to continue to get information from the National Weather Service as they continue to issue this tornado warning for Berks County. So to kind of give you the lay of the land right now, this is kind of a broader view. This is the area that we're looking at, the northeastern corner of Berks County. So you have Berks County and then Lehigh County, and that just gives you an idea of how basically how we're looking at that particular corner of our viewing area. I mentioned that there is a tremendous amount of lightning. We don't just have the tornado warning, we also have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings. And just within the last 15 minutes, we're able to look and count how many lightning strikes there have been, over 1,800. So we mentioned when there's a tornado warning, you want to be in your safe location. Really, anybody that lives in this general area right now needs to be indoors. Lightning is deadly. We don't want to see anybody get into a bad situation here with these dangerous storms moving through Berks County and the Lehigh Valley. These storms also continue to have a history of producing not just lightning, but also the hail potential, and that has always been one of the threats for today. Hails right now on our hailstones on our hail tracks up to about 1 inch in diameter. So we're looking at up to about quarter-size hail with some of these thunderstorms, and chances are anybody that's near their window looking outside right now, you probably can't see a whole lot. We've got a lot of moisture in the air today. Dew points are in the 70s. Look at some of these downpours that we're seeing in this area right now. We're talking rainfall rates over 2 inches per hour. So these are torrential downpours. We have hail coming down. We have vivid lightning. If there is a tornado in the area, it is going to be very dangerous for anybody because nobody's going to be able to see what's coming. Now, Paul, has there been any additional reports of any confirmation of the tornado?
Nothing in the last 6 minutes.
Okay, so in the last 6 minutes, we haven't had any updates yet from the National Weather Service, so we will just continue to cover this with the thought that a tornado could happen at any given moment here in Berks and into Lehigh County. So this red polygon, once again, is that tornado warning that was issued by the National Weather Service not too long ago. It is until 2:45 this afternoon, and this cell is moving northeast, and it was moving at about, I believe, around 25, 30 miles per hour. Correct me if I'm 15, northeast at 15. All right, so this is moving very slow, this cell that's moving right now, and that's one of the problems with the severe weather threat for today. You have these slow moving storms that are also producing a lot of heavy rain. So we can put a few more communities on here to give you an idea of where we're looking at. Time now is right now is 2:28 in the afternoon, Stony Run 2:34, Linville 2:49, and Switzer at 2:56. If I read off your community, you want to make sure that you're in your safe location right now, as this is a potentially dangerous situation with this storm that is capable of producing a tornado. So you can see obviously a lot happening right now, not just in this general area, but just a lot of thunderstorms across the Lehigh Valley. You can see some of the locations from Hamburg to Lynn Township. That's the direction that this storm has been moving. It's been moving northeast, and it's been moving very slowly here. I mean, this is a radar loop probably within the last 15 or so minutes, and you can see that this is kind of just sitting over the same general area. So looking at a couple of the different products right now, we're looking at the relative velocity. Once again, this is a different where there might be rotation in the atmosphere. With the colors, the brighter the colors together, the stronger the couplet, the stronger the indication of a possible tornado signature. And what Paul's doing right now, Paul, our graphics producer and meteorologist, he's actually going back in time a little bit. And when I mentioned that the brighter the colors together, with the green and the red together, that is where we have the rotation. And at this point, at 2:16 in the afternoon, about 14 minutes ago, this was a good couplet, a strong indication of rotation in the atmosphere. So that's what he's trying to show you here between Hamburg and Lynn around 2:17 this afternoon. Our storm relative velocity showing a strong signature of rotation. So that is why this tornado warning continues here for parts of Berks County and into Lehigh County. So areas around Lynn Township, this storm is moving your direction. This storm, although we have not had a confirmed tornado report, this storm does have a history of rotation. So there could be some debris out there. There could be very strong winds out there. Looking at things hyper local, we can read off a couple of different roads for you. We have Kistler Valley Road right here, Alamangle Road, also Mosserville Road to the north here, Laughlin Township. This is all moving your direction. This storm, again, that has shown rotation on our radar velocity product. So here's what you're looking at. This has a lot going on right now. This is showing you where the tornado warning is. You saw all of the vivid lightning there, and then also a couple of the different roads, just so we can reiterate where this is, again, around Lynn Township. And Paul, maybe it's been a couple of minutes. Maybe we populate the tornado warning, just the polygon, to show people where we're looking at right now. So the red polygon is the tornado warning. The worst of it now likely between Albany Township and the area of Lynn. So I imagine probably within the next couple of minutes, the National Weather Service will start to kind of trim their polygon, which would mean that the tornado threat is pushing farther to the east. So Lynn Township, you are still in the path of this storm that has had a history, at least on our radar product, of producing some rotation. We have seen a couplet out there, meaning that there could have been a tornado on the ground. At this point, we haven't received any confirmation yet from the National Weather Service. And all of us are looking at the threat of severe weather for today. If you didn't see our latest update at the top of the hour, there is a severe thunderstorm watch, and that does include the Lehigh Valley, Berks County, Philadelphia, even into parts of Ocean County. This runs until 9 o'clock tonight. And although the tornado threat is low today, myself and meteorologist Chris Sowers reiterated that it's not a no threat for a tornado today. One of our highest risks with severe weather is going to be that flooding potential. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere today, so a flood watch is in effect until midnight tonight from Philadelphia toward the northwest suburbs, the Lehigh Valley, and up into the Poconos. We're looking at a general 1 to 2 inches of rain within this watch area, but any downpour could produce locally higher amounts, upwards of 3 to 5 inches. And this is what we like to see. The latest update from the National Weather Service has allowed the tornado warning to expire here in Berks and Lehigh County. If there's any additional warnings, we'll be breaking into programming. But for now, we'll send it back to Rachel Ray in progress.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with this AccuWeather alert. We feel the soup, that heaviness to the atmosphere with the high humidity. Also quite a bit of instability. We have a couple of just light showers, a crack of thunder north of Millville, but most of the action over the last couple of hours has been far to the north and west. Just a short time ago, we did have a tornado warning in parts of Lehigh County and Berks County. There is a leftover severe thunderstorm warning there until 3:15. Winds could be up near 60 miles an hour. This is pretty far to the west of Allentown. Hail over an inch in diameter. This is the storm, and if you take a look at all of the lightning at the beginning of the frame there, all those bright flashes of white, there were nearly 1,600 lightning strikes in 15 minutes. And notice how the lightning has really diminished as these storms are weakening as they're lifting north of the Lehigh Valley up towards the Poconos, but nonetheless, heavy rain out of these storms. Rainfall rates 2 to 3 inches per hour. So when it rains, it pours. That's that heaviness to the atmosphere I just alluded to that's ringing everything out. So we do have a flash flood warning in parts of Lehigh County and far northwestern Berks County and beyond that region there till 5:30. So if you encounter water covered roads, of course, turn around and find an alternate route. Severe thunderstorm watch up until 9 o'clock for the Delaware Valley to the north, Lehigh Valley into the Poconos, meaning any storm could reach those severe criteria limits. The biggest culprit is strong straight line winds and hail with this, and then a flash flood watch also is up through midnight tonight for southeastern Pennsylvania to the Poconos. The ground is very saturated after storms over the last week that has put a lot of water in the ground. So that is another concern as we go through this evening and overnight. Future tracker showing 7 o'clock this evening. Not much happening. Looking at some of the models, a late line coming in. If it comes in late, it thankfully could fall apart, but we'll continue to follow it for you. We'll see you in an hour in Action News at 4. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Breaking back in with another AccuWeather alert. We do have a tornado warning. This is a new one that has now been issued for the far northeastern corner of Northampton County. This is up near the Delaware Water Gap, right along the Delaware River, heading up over into Warren County and into Jersey. Tornado warning until 3:30. Also hail up to an inch in diameter. This tornado warning until the bottom of the hour at 3:30 here, located near Belvedere, just between Upper Mount Bethel Township and Lower Mount Bethel Township. That warning again until 3:30 this evening. There is some gate-to-gate shear showing up. That's when you get that red and the green side by side with the outbound winds and the inbound winds. So there is some rotation here just to the east of Martins Creek Junction and then just over the Delaware River into White. This is lifting off to the north, so Mount Bethel and Brownings. That would be between 324 and 335. Again, this is in the far northeastern corner of Northampton County. That until 3:30 this evening with some rotation in this area. This area not highly, thankfully, urbanized or highly populated. This area is a point of where people go to hike and to check out the Delaware River there near the Delaware Water Gap. But this is the storm we're watching on the radar. Very heavy rain, but as you're noting, there's not much lightning with it, if any lightning. We haven't seen any lightning strikes, so this is more than likely. There it is. All right, so putting on the lightning now. thought the lightning was a part of it, but there is a good amount here, and not seeing a notch in the radar. This is the reflectivity. The other mode, which had the gate-to-gate shear, was the storm relative velocity. So in this zone here, you have 66 lightning strikes in that particular severe storm over the last 15 minutes. But again, lifting, here's Interstate 80 towards Interstate 80, far in the northeast corner of southeastern Pennsylvania, and then heading into North Jersey. This storm that prompted that tornado warning near Belvedere just a couple of short minutes ago, lifting very quickly to north. So Stone Church at 320, Upper Mount Bethel 325, Portland 329. By the time you get towards Polkville or Dunville at 333 or 336, that is out of our viewing area. In fact, this storm is just about moving out of our viewing area at this moment in time, as the corner of Northampton County and Warren County going into New Jersey, seeing the most severe part of this storm, and also looking at hail tracks as well. There's the hail track, Upper Mount Bethel Township, about a half-inch size hail. If it was to reach severe criteria, it has to be 1-inch hail. So the hail right now, not the biggest part of this particular severe thunderstorm, but nonetheless, we have that tornado warning until 3:30, which is another 21 minutes or so. But one other thing to note here, this area is our viewing area, and then once you head up here, it is no longer, that is New York's jurisdiction when you're talking about their DMA of where their viewers are tuning in. But we're continuing to watch the severe storm. This is a part of the same storm that prompted a tornado warning in parts of Berks County and Lehigh County about a half hour ago. So if you're ever within a tornado warning, not a watch, but a warning, that's when you want to seek shelter in the lowest part of your home. Even though this may not pertain to most of us in our viewing area right now, it is something to remind later this afternoon, this evening, if another is issued, to go to the basement, the closet, interior hallway, avoid windows if you can, stay indoors, move indoors. If you start to hear thunder, despite if it's a tornado warning or not, kids are out of school, they're outside playing, they're in camps. Camps always more than likely have the right necessarily tools and instructions on what to do to keep your kids safe. But this is a part of the bigger picture, which is a severe thunderstorm watch that encompasses parts of interior South Jersey, the Delaware Valley, northern Delaware, all of southeastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey until 9 o'clock tonight. So we're going to continue to see these storms popping, and then more than likely a main line that's going to come in a little later this evening between about 7 and 10 o'clock. So Storm Tracker showing the wider picture here that most of us in the Delaware Valley are very quiet at this time. There's a little pop-up in southern parts of Gloucester County and some leftover storms in parts of the Lehigh Valley. But here's the storm we are watching. It's way off to the north and east of Allentown near Mount Bethel Township, both the lower and upper part of it here. Still not seeing a notch in the radar at this moment in time as it's heading towards Interstate 80 that bisects North Jersey and far northeastern Pennsylvania, lifting off to the north. Here are some of the updated times at 3:22 in Mount Bethel Township. It is right near on the border of White, which is over the river of the Delaware River, which is this black line that separates New Jersey as well as Pennsylvania. Portland 325, Polkville at 329, Dunville, that out of the viewing area by that point at 333 and beyond. That tornado warning, at least right now, if it's reissued, again, that is something later down the line. But we are seeing, and this is very high terrain we're talking of here, is some of that gate-to-gate shear. You got that bright green and some of those darker reds. And as we go back in time, you can see near Harmony, as we started to see that gate-to-gate shear showing up, and there was the brightest part was when it was south and west of White. It is still showing some rotation, and even if it's in the upper part of the atmosphere, you're talking about higher elevation, so it doesn't have to drop down as low towards the ground. So nonetheless, it's a summer day. Some folks probably there hiking as well. So it's something, even though it's not a very populated area, it's an area of interest that people go to. Portland at 324, that's not for 12 more minutes. That this possible radar indicated storm with rotation will be lifting off to the north. And there you see some of those other towns, Shawnee on the Delaware, Mount Vernon, that's way up there to the north. That's not till after the 3:30 half hour, but we are seeing some of that gate to gate shear. Here's some of the roads, Riverton Road and Shady Lane, River Road. Again, this is the bend in the Delaware River that separates Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Martins Creek, Belvedere Highway, that's where it originated. The particular tornado warning over Belvedere going off toward a Stone Church Drive, and then there's Stone Church, that particular area, 5 Points Richmond Road, where we could see some of this possible rotation as it lifts off to the north and to the east. So a wider view of this is on the northeastern extension of Northampton County. It is far from Easton, you know, in those more populated zones in the southern part of that particular county. But as we continue to look toward the west here, we do have storms that are firing in Berks or Lehigh County right now. Not severe. You don't see as much lightning in those storms. The Poconos getting whacked at this hour, but this is that heavy cell with a tremendous amount of lightning. We had almost 70 lightning strikes about 5 minutes ago in a 15-minute time span with that storm. So you're dealing with dangerous lightning, torrential rain, and when you're dealing with rain in the mountainous communities that you're pushing out 2-3-inch rates per hour, that rain funnels down that higher terrain, so it can really bring up creeks and streams very quickly in those prone locations with a higher terrain. So there you have the rainfall rates of over 2 inches in those purple areas, and that is duplicated also down to the south here into the Lehigh Valley and up into the Poconos. So the storm continuing to lift to the north. This is the second tornado warning that we've had this afternoon. All of them confined up towards the Lehigh Valley by this point. It's been fairly quiet thus far, thankfully, in the Delaware Valley, but things will only turn more active as you go deeper into the evening, as we're awaiting a cold front to come in and kind of clash with some of that very humid air that we have in play outside this afternoon. So that tornado warning continues till 3:30 here in and around the Delaware Water Gap, lifting off to the north towards Interstate 80. More storms back to the south and west that are not severe at this moment in time, but it's right over White, Upper Mount Bethel Township, just to the west of Hope, heading over Interstate 80. Again, a very highly sought out place to go, if you will, for folks in the summer season to look at the beautiful scenery of the Delaware River, as well as the hiking trails in this location of our viewing area. So a tremendous amount of lightning. Thank you, Brittany. They are continuing it. Okay, so thank you very much. At 3:14, they updated that the storm is moving to the northeast at 30 miles an hour. The hazard would be the tornado and quarter-size hail. It is continuing to be radar indicated. There has been no confirmed tornado on the ground by any spotters in this region here, but it is now right near White, Upper Mount Bethel, and just to the west of Hope, which is in New Jersey there. But the locations: Belvedere, Hope, the Delaware Water Gap. This includes Interstate 80 in New Jersey between mile marker 0 and mile marker 12. So if you know folks who live up in this area and may not be tuning in, give them a call. Again, that would be mile markers 0 and 12 near Interstate 80 of Columbia, Portland, Delaware Water Gap, Hope, and Belvedere. So this is the region that you definitely want to be taking some action as we continue to watch the storm lifting off to the north and northeast at about 30 miles an hour. So you want to seek shelter. Go to the basement, closet, interior hall. I know we repeat this quite a bit, but it's always something to keep in the back of your head, because when a tornado warning is issued, a lot of time you kind of go into fight or flight, especially if you have little kids and you're trying to get everyone together. It's a good reminder of where you go if a tornado warning is issued for your area. Again, avoid windows, move indoors when you start to hear thunder, get under sturdy objects if you can, and also the best place is any room without windows. The lowest parts. If you don't have a basement, first floor is fine. If you're in a condo or a high-rise, get down to the first floor or the basement in those sort of apartment complexes as well. So here you still have some of that gate-to-gate shear. It is right over the Delaware River right now. That is this black line. That is the county line that separates one county from the next, one state to the next, and it is about to push over into New Jersey and out of southeastern Pennsylvania, Interstate 80, and I believe again Warren County is where it's pushing into at this moment in time. This tornado warning continues for another 12.5 minutes. Again, radar indicated at this moment in time, but something that we continue to track and follow here this afternoon. Second tornado warning in the last hour for our viewing area as well. And as we look at the storm, there's the initial storm here, another one trying to backfill behind it here, following its same path, but tremendous amount of heavy rain and again lightning that continues to be pushed out of the storm. This is the rainfall rates, and you could just see how high in the color bars are here. You're going from purple to white. You're looking at precipitation rates of nearly 3 inches per hour, which is a tremendous amount of water that comes out of the sky. And that is something we saw last Friday when we had all that flooding along 476 near the airport in Philadelphia, just because of how heavy it rains and how humid it is outside. Hail right now is bumping up a little bit. It was around a ½ inch hail when I started on air here. Now it's up to a little more than a ½ inch in diameter. 1 inch in diameter can be considered a severe hailstone coming out of the storm. So it's approaching those upper limits. But again, we continue to track this particular severe storm, radar indicated tornado until 3:30 this evening. Hail could be as high as 1 inch in diameter. And then we have another, this is not our viewing area, but just to show you, there is a now new tornado warning that has been issued near Raritan, and that lifting off to the north. Here is Mercer County and Trenton. So again, it is not part of Mercer County, not part of her viewing area, but it's going to show you that the atmosphere right now has the capability of pushing storms to tornadic storms, possible tornadic storms. Again, that radar indicated as well as everything is lifting off to the north. But we can now say with that tornado warning that was for our viewing area in northeastern Northampton County, looks to be pushing now out of our viewing area and into northern New Jersey. But the bigger picture here showing there's very little beyond this going on right now. All right, so we do have a storm report, trees down and wires. That's for the Raritan Township in New Jersey, just north of Trenton. So there are reports of wind damage there with this storm in central and north Jersey out of our viewing area. But there's little bits trying to pop here and there, but the bigger picture showing it's pretty quiet across much of our area this afternoon at this moment in time. But something just to keep in mind as well is that we still do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock tonight, which encompasses most of us. It's not a part of the shore, southern Delaware or far southern New Jersey, but the rest of us, if you're in the yellow zone until 9 o'clock tonight, we have a severe thunderstorm watch, meaning not only tornadoes possible, but also straight line winds of up to 70 miles an hour with some of these storms, large hail, part of some of those storms. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but just we're on watch here till 9 o'clock tonight. And then in addition, because we have such high water content in the atmosphere and it is so humid, we do have a flood watch in effect through midnight for all of southeastern Pennsylvania and Mercer County, including Trenton and those areas up towards the Poconos. The ground is pretty saturated, and also the storm is going to come in here first, and they'll be more apt to be stronger once they sink down to the south and east. They're going to fall apart. And Paul, if you want, also we could look at Future Tracker to show folks later the timing of some of those storms that are coming up. But again, that tornado warning does continue for the Delaware Water Gap and points north there in Interstate 80 until 3:30 this evening. Places like Somerville, as well as again, the Delaware Water Gap. So here's Future Tracker showing pretty good. This is right now, which is showing some of those storms, not much down to the south that I showed you. But as we get into the evening, 6 o'clock, storms firing up Lancaster, Reading, Allentown. If you're heading out this evening, the Delaware Valley, it's fairly quiet. It's really not until later, 8 o'clock tonight, we could see some of those severe storms. And again, targeting southeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, shore goers, it might be fine. Go and get that ice cream or piece of pizza this evening on the boards. And then as we get closer towards 10 o'clock, there you can see kind of that line falls apart. So the later that line comes in and it looks to be delaying, the better off we are of not having as much severe weather or chances of tornado warnings, but this is a fluid situation and something we're going to continue to track, and well as we're going to continue to follow here. So at 3:21, the strong thunderstorm in parts of central Camden and west central Burlington counties. Not severe, but a pretty strong storm that they are tracking, which is this one right here. Again, it's moving so quick and not all that impressive in size, not going severe, but just some gusty winds with that and some lightning. So again, we continue to track that storm. I would say myself, I don't know, Brittany and Cecily and Paul are back there as well. This looks like the worst of it is out of our viewing area at this time. No, you agree too, Cecily? Yes, she agrees. Knowlton, that's not our viewing area. This right black line to the south and west is where we have Hunterdon County, not Hunterdon, Northampton County. Hunterdon's just to the south. That is Northampton County. So it does look like it's pretty much out of our viewing area at this moment in time. So now that this is safe for our viewers, we'll continue to track this. Of course, much more coming up on Action News at 4. Any imminent danger for the majority of us if that happens, we will be breaking back in. But we'll see you in about 30 to 35 minutes. And now we go back to our regularly scheduled programming.